very rarely are we going to draw something that's kind of finished from the get-go. We're going to usually always have some layer of, rough pencils, or what we call our draft layer, that is going to let us just kind of work out our problems. And we may do this on paper, but a lot of times if we do it on paper, we'll import it with a scanner or just take a photo of it and import it somehow. But to designate something a draft layer is something we may want to do, because later when we export this, we can just leave that layer out. So I'm going to just put some lines down. And if we just want to say that this is our draft layer, we just have a button right here, this pencil right here. It says set a draft layer. Click on that, and you'll see this pencil appear. And essentially what that does is it designates that layer and says that it's not totally important. I mean, it is important to us to help us figure out our drawing, but when we export our image later, it's going to not include that unless we specifically set that aside and say we need to include it. So later when we look at how we export, I'll just show you briefly right now, but when we export our image, we're going to have this option to whether we want to include our draft. And normally it's not selected because it's not something that we consider part of our final version. So just keep that in mind when you designate something as a draft layer.